Fallibilism is the epistemological thesis that no belief, theory, view, thesis, etc., can be rationally supported or justified in a completely conclusive way. There is always a possible doubt to the truth of the belief. You would be forgiven for thinking that this is akin to academic skepticism, which essentially states that knowledge is impossible, but this is not the case with fallibilism. Instead, it's closer to dealing with problems with truth, which have come up in the last two episodes on the theories of knowledge. So, even the most well-justified belief that seems to be strongly indicating a particular conclusion could still be false for a number of reasons, the major one being the limited scope of our knowledge of all things. And in fact, it seems that everyone has had at least one false belief throughout their lives, if not many. You could be a little bit more restrictive with your fallibilism and state that it doesn't have to necessarily relate to all beliefs. For example, you taste chocolate. You like the chocolate. You therefore believe you like that chocolate that you've just had. In fact, you might even say you know that you like that chocolate that you've just had. And it's conclusive because it is completely subjective to you. So I would agree that in this case, it does make sense to restrict your fallibilism from it. However, there could still be an argument made that this truth is still contingent, because in the future, your taste buds could change for any number of reasons, and therefore it would no longer be true. The truth could change. So this belief is fallible not because the original belief was wrong, but because the belief could change. Now, I do think that maybe this particular belief, when it's a personal preference over something like that, is less likely to change than some others, though I'm sure you can think of many contingent truths that would change over time. Perhaps it's about how many animals exist in the wild of a particular species, for example. So, how does fallibilism work as a theory of knowledge? If it states that most, if not all, beliefs cannot be conclusively justified as true, how can there be any knowledge? If most, if not all, beliefs are fallible, how do we actually have a theory of knowledge? Well, the simplest way to explain this is to perhaps relate it back to the JTB that we discussed a couple of episodes ago. We just have to make a couple of modifications to it, and they would be along the lines of the justification has to be strong and balanced to the belief. Simply feeling justified wouldn't be enough. There also can't be a similar belief with equal explanatory power. You have to be in possession of the best explanation and the best justification out of all the possibilities for this particular conclusion. And then that relates to the truth. You will accept that the truth could be a tentative truth. It could change, or you could realize that the truth was never true. It was, or the inverse, that it was never actually false. So something might be considered knowledge until it is shown to be false, and that would mean that it was never really knowledge, it was just perceived knowledge. But it works nonetheless. Now, you might think that this sounds a little bit like falsification, and you'd be right. There's a reason why most scientists and epistemologists are fallibilists, and falsification was built from fallibilism. That's my quick shot about what fallibilism is. What do you think as a theory of knowledge? And the other theories of knowledge we've addressed so far with the justified true belief and coherence theory. Do you have any opinions, comments, or questions? Is there anything you'd like me to go into more detail on? Let me know.